Welcome to We Are Not Here to Tick a Box with David Kane and Debbie Hayes. Episode 10. It's Christmas. Well, as you can see, this is definitely our Christmas episode. Are you digging the hat here, Debbie?
Well, I am quite jealous that I haven't got one, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who are just listening, we've got the graphics on our screen. So if you go into our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that I'm all kitted out like Santa, and Debs has certainly got the fairy lights on. So it's all good to go. So yes, 20th of December, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. So
we'll spare you the singing though, because singing is definitely not my gift, David.
Well, I didn't send any mulled wine round before we did this one. But if I had done, maybe it could have got interesting. But that's another story, isn't it?
Well, so what we're going to do now.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to just play a couple of clips from our first 9 episodes in series 1, just so you can get a bit of a feel as to what the We Are Not Here to Tick a Podcast, what We Are Not Here to Tick a Box podcast is all about. And in between, me and Debbie are going to have a little bit of fun and get to know each other and you a little bit better. So here comes the first clip. Back in episode 1, we talked about business pantomimes. We've all probably worked for an organisation where the royal visit is about to happen. Somebody from senior management is going to come to our business. It happens all the time. And, you'll resonate with this. The people who are watching.
I can totally resonate with this one.
Absolutely. And for the next 24 hours, 48 hours, we put customer service to one side. We start cleaning the place. We start creating an illusion.
Boxes are tidied out, their desks.
Absolutely.
Surfaces are clean and
all of that, cups off the tables, and everybody comes in with a cravat or whatever it is they've got on, perfectly ironed. And, we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah.
And what a real shame. And the thing about this pantomime, I'm going to say it's a pantomime, is it doesn't serve the people, but equally, the senior managers know it's a pantomime.
Okay, David. So, how many sprouts will you be eating this Christmas?
It's a great question. To sprout or not to sprout, I would say I'm definitely in the sprout column. Do love
are you?
A sprout is what makes a Christmas dinner a Christmas dinner. And I'm going to go bold here. There will be a minimum of 6. It might get up to 8s or 10s. What about you?
Well, a Christmas sprout. I can have one. The token one sprout is enough to say I've had one. But I'm not a big sprout lover. No, one's enough.
In episode 2, we discussed vulnerability. Yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, from a business perspective, you cannot grow a business, or you cannot improve a business unless everybody within that business knows the true challenges of it. What are we truly working towards? There's no benefit from holding back bad news, for example. You've got to be confident enough that by being open, honest and transparent, that people will do the right things and work through collective responsibility for the common good. That's what they'll do. But again, you've got to be vulnerable with the truth.
And I found with a lot of my client base is that a lot of people are really motivated in terms of solving problems. So if we hide the vulnerabilities, they can't see it, they can't solve the problem.
No.
So if we are able, again, to look at those vulnerabilities, we can get those people motivated to go, right, we see it now. And because we see it clearly, now we can address it and pull together and do something about it.
So, Debbie, we're back. Quick one then. Crawl to bed or walk to bed on Christmas Day? Which one is it?
Ooh. It will probably have to be walk, because I'm going down to my friends. So.
Right.
Yeah, so I will need to drive back. So it'll be walk.
Fair enough. I'll probably be crawling, I think. Do like to finish the night with a couple of nice single malts, I have to say. So that normally takes me over the edge.
But, do you have a favourite? My dad's a real whiskey drinker.
Yeah, for anybody who's a whiskey drinker out there, if you've never had a Belvenny triple cask,
nice.
Treat yourself. Lovely little drop. Well worth having on a cold winter's night. Let's put it.
Yeah.
Back in episode 3, we discussed listening. One-to-ones and I call them development reviews. I don't call them performance reviews. I hate the word performance review. It's a development review. You said you don't know what you don't know in a previous episode. I don't like the word weaknesses. I prefer opportunities to grow. Don't think words like that. That's where I go. But the amount of times I do work with a client where the last time a colleague has had a one-to-one, a proper sit-down meeting with their line manager of 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, that's not a culture of listening.
No, and I think we need to understand here the value of somebody being listened to. If I feel, or anybody else, probably, I'm going to speak for myself, if I feel listened to, I feel valued, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel listened to, I feel understood. So if I feel all those things, that says to me, this person values me.
Right. Okay, Debbie. This is one for you. Take you back maybe to your childhood for this one. What is your favourite Christmas carol and why?
Well, the one that immediately springs to mind is like "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," because I think it's just quite upbeat, isn't it?
Fair enough. Yeah. So you're wishing us a Merry Christmas. Fabulous. Mine's a little bit more sentimental. Mine's Silent Night. And the reason why it's Silent Night is my nan, who's no longer with us. I used to always put my nan's Christmas tree up for her in her later life. And I have very fond memories of she used to love that carol. So every time that comes on now at Christmas, it just takes me back to my nan's living room, putting her tree up for her. So very much Silent Night kind of boy me. In episode 4, we self-reflected.
I have a sort of umbrella phrase for that, which is notice what you notice. And it's a phrase I've used for many years now, and it helps people to go, notice what I notice. Because sometimes if we notice the things and we just carry on, nothing changes. But if we can sort of just witness that and be in that notice what we notice, it gives us that pause, so that we can, hold ourselves in that accountability, can't we, and find that curiosity. And I just want to pick something else up you said there around going back to my TED talk and how we are in this busy world. And from my own sort of research that I've done, what I've come to understand is that being busy can actually be a trauma response.
Yeah.
Because it prevents us from looking at ourselves.
Okay. So, Deb, this one's quite an interesting one. If you could give a personal present to anybody listening in terms of wise advice, what would it be this Christmas?
Wise advice? Blooming heck. I'm just going to go with my notice what you notice phrase.
Notice what you notice.
Because so many people that I've shared that phrase with, it really resonates with them, and I know that they use it consistently, and it helps them to notice what they do notice, and therefore they're able to make the changes that they need to make.
Perfect sense.
What about you?
Mine is, it's not mine, it's stolen, but most good quotes are, which is yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today's the gift. That's why they call it the present. Love it. Absolutely love it. Don't worry about the past. Don't be anxious about the future. Just be the best you can be today, and everything should be okay. Simple stuff.
Like it.
Marvellous. We've also spoke about gratitude.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't need to be grandiose either.
No.
Some people don't want a thank you that is like really in the spotlight. There are some people that motivation that can feel very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's all about the sincerity behind the thank you, isn't it? And I think, when you link that back to your family, that's what would have hit people's hearts, isn't it? Because it really anchored into something very personable but tangible. Yeah. So I think when we can give those very heartfelt thank yous, that would count so much more than a ceremony of certificates often.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen over recent years there's been a bit of a trend of people having a complete change of their Christmas baubles each year. So they'll have a blue theme and then pink theme. So do you do are you in that trend zone, or are you traditional decks?
Well, we've got 2 trees. One's the kids' tree, so that's got all like the Disney stuff on it, and it's very red. That's a red and green tree, that one.
Yeah.
All those things that you can buy, like the ornaments that you put your family names on and all that.
Oh yeah,
all of that kind of stuff goes on that one.
Yeah.
And then in the living room we've got it's like a blue and silver thing going on in the living room. It has been for many years. It's probably due a change, but we're happy as it is. What about yourself? What's your go-to colours?
I'm a bit of a traditional girl, so I've got different Christmas decks that I always buy one new one each year. So it sort of tells a story. Nice. Of like over life, and I can remember like where I've got different ones from. And I've got this really weird one from when I was a kid, which it's a bell with a little cat on, and it's like, well, what the heck has a bell with a cat got to do with Christmas? But it's my very first ornament that I remember, so I still have to keep the blue plastic bell with the cat on.
As you do. The Christmas theme continues in our episode 7, Belonging. And I think that's really, really important. I mean, you talk there about work-life balance, and absolutely, I think what businesses need to always, I always say this to people: a business will always owe you more time than you owe it, regardless of what job that you do. Regardless, there will always be times where you as an employee are expected to go above and beyond in terms of your time. The question I would have to leaders is, how do you repay that back with time? Because there are opportunities. I mean, we're coming up to Christmas, for example. Great examples here in terms of belonging. How many nativity plays are taking place in the next few weeks? Our businesses actually publicise, and this is something that I actually did. I actually publicised on email. Any colleague whose child is taking part in a nativity play, take this email as my personal commitment to you that you can attend that without using your holidays. Go to the school. I mean, the likelihood is people work quite close to where they live. The school will probably be by. At worst, what the person's going to be out of the business for 2 hours, but actually what that generates is far greater than that cost of 2 hours.
Hugely. It's good. The goodwill it creates is huge.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
One more from you.
Okay, David. So when does the Christmas tree go up in your house?
1st of December every year.
To the date?
To the date, yeah. Well, pretty well. Whichever weekend is closest.
Okay.
As a rule. Because we spent that much money on Christmas decorations over the years. They're only up for a month, so you've got to get the best out of them, haven't you? Plus 2 little kids as well. Makes the house nice for them, doesn't it? Yourself?
Well, in my house, because obviously my birthday's in the middle of December.
It is.
Then the rule is the Christmas tree can't go up until after my birthday.
Dear me. Now, but here's the important thing: do you stick to tradition? Do you take it down on the right day?
Oh, I don't stick to a specific day. It's usually once I've had enough.
Right, because it's supposed to be bad luck if you take it down after the 6th.
I don't do it after, but I don't always wait till then.
Right.
Probably similar to you. I would take it down the weekend before. Right. When I feel like, right, okay, time to... And I always think the house looks much tidier as well afterwards.
Bare? It looks bare. It looks terrible. I hate my house after Christmas. When it's Christmassy, it's nice. It's lived in. It's warm. It's cold. Yeah. It's cold when you take your Christmas tree down. Terrible. Lovely. Well, that's us. That's us for this year. To those who've listened to 1, maybe 2 podcasts. Treat yourself, listen to them all. For those who maybe have listened to all 9, certainly on my behalf, I'm sure Deb agrees with this. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks very much for listening. Hopefully we're giving you some things to think about, and who knows, we may meet you in the new year. Debbie, I'm sure you'd want to say your own personal message before we go.
Yeah, just thank you for listening, and stick with us. Give us feedback in terms of what you want us to talk about in the future episodes, because as you've sort of probably gleaned, that Dave and I are very good at just talking about lots of different things. So we'd love to know what you would like us to explore and share.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in fact, did you ever watch the 2 Ronnies when you were a kid?
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
that's it. We've not even practiced this. Let's see if we can do it properly. So it's Merry Christmas from her.
And it's a good night from him.
We'll see you in the new year, everybody. Bye for now. We will see you in the new year on the 11th of January for series number 2.